morning and welcome to Arundel Presbyterian Church in Odenton, Maryland. I'm Michelle Schoonmaker, your lobby host this week. The lobby is the weekly program on the life and ministry of the church. Today is the 7th and final Sunday of Easter, so that means next week will be the birthday of the church, Pentecost. Today I am honored to have as my first guest ever the coordinator of the Outreach Division of the Arundel County Board of Elections and an election judge recruiter, Miss Nicole Hill. We'll meet Miss Hill in a few minutes. First, let me tell you about so many wonderful things happening at Arundel. A reading tutoring program in Van Bachlen Elementary School is looking for volunteers to help second graders learn to read. This program is called STARE. It is run by First Presbyterian Church of Annapolis, and they will provide all the training for you and your student to have a great time mastering reading together. STARE needs a weekly commitment from every volunteer during school hours throughout the school year. Contact Lori Kronzer for more information. You may have heard that our Black Lives Matter and Gleam banners were vandalized. We are going to get replacement banners and then hold another peaceful demonstration next Friday from 4 to 6, that's June 3rd, to show our commitment to Black Lives Matter and our LGBTQ+ community. Please join us. Signs will be available. Did you know Arundel has a library? Pastor John will like some help reorganizing and updating the library, so please get in touch if you can help. He can also show you where the library actually is in the building. This summer, we will have in-person VBS, and we'll spend time inside and outside learning a passport for peace. The dates are July 18th through 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. every night. Kids in pre-K to grade 5 can be in VBS. Older kids as well as adults can be leaders. June 4th is the Annapolis Pride Day in downtown Annapolis. We will be having a booth and need volunteers to help set up, work the booth, march in the parade with the Gleam banner, and clean up. Please contact Amanda Croce if you are interested. The Healing Through Grief group meets again on Zoom next Wednesday, June 8th at 7:30 p.m. The Healing Through Grief small group is open to anyone attending Arundel, as well as family members, friends, and neighbors who have experienced the death of a loved one, whether it is recent or a long time ago. Contact Lenny Gerdner for the Zoom link. Today, we welcome a new nursery coordinator who will be providing childcare for our littlest ones during both services. Please welcome Kara Moody. And now I'd like to introduce our very special guest, Nicole Hill. Ms. Hill is the coordinator of the Outreach Division for the Arundel County Board of Elections and an election judge recruiter. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
We'd love you to fill us in on the upcoming primary election and the changes that have taken place to Maryland elections, the maps. I've noticed campaign signs popping up out of thin air in the last few weeks, so I know an election is approaching.
Yes.
I would like to start with just some of the basics around the election.
Okay.
When is the Maryland primary?
The Maryland primary is now going to be on July 19th. Early voting starts on July 7th, and that carries through to the 14th. And early voting ballots should be going out, like the mass mail out should be June 9th. So you should start seeing notifications about the drop boxes being open, and you can drop your ballot in and they'll be collected. So soon after that.
Oh, wow. The 9th is right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
So how did we end up with a date so late?
It's not complicated, but it's just a lot. So back in January, they started talking about the redistricting of the legislative maps.
Mm-hmm.
And there was petitions were filed with the Court of Appeals of Maryland. Because of that, and it was timely, that triggered a special magistrate being appointed. He came in to play in March. So the first deadline for the candidates was actually in February.
Mm-hmm.
He set his court date for the hearing to review the maps and hear the arguments for, I think it was March 23rd, and with, if necessary, an extension to the 25th. Both of those dates fell after the new candidacy filing deadline, which was the 22nd of March. The candidate filing date was going to change again for April. He reviewed everything, and his report was due on April 5th. had to give everybody time, the parties involved, time to review his report. And then if they requested a hearing about his findings, that would have pushed things along even further.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. So it's a lot of dates to snap in there. April 15th was the new deadline for the candidacy filings. And because you have the candidacy filing on the 15th of April, that triggered other dates that happened after the candidacy filing that was moved further back also. So all of that was done in April. And for us to have a successful election, any of the local boards in the state, you have to have time to do certain things, and you have timelines that they have to be completed. So we needed to have the extra time to, not just for the candidates and for the other things that happen with the candidates, but also like our ballots need to be finalized. Our ballots have to be approved. Ballots have to be printed and then shipped to us. And then also the training of the election judges were also delayed. So that's how we ended up with our primary being changed from June 28th, which everybody's used to for a gubernatorial election, summertime, to July 19th.
Wow.
It's a lot that goes into putting an election together. We just don't work every 2 years, like some people would like to think.
I can imagine that is a lot.
There's a lot of
that
dates.
goes into it.
Yes, you should see our calendar for the election. Yeah, and then after the primary, it's like the clock resets and we have to start getting ready for the general election. And we have an even shorter time because all of this for the primary has no effect on the general election. Those dates are going to stay the same.
So in terms of other changes, again, we come back to these maps that I kind of briefly mentioned in the intro.
Yeah.
So what changes are we actually going to see with these new redistricting maps? And would you be able to share with us maps now that they've been finalized?
Yes, I do have some maps that I can share with you. And anyone can go onto the County Board of Elections website. It's aacounty.org/elections, and they can see these. This is the old council map. You see that we have District 4 here for the council map. The next one, this is for the new one. It's moved a little bit from previous. It's a very busy map. Be prepared for that. You don't have to look at the maps to find out what is affecting you individually.
So in terms of all of these different layers that may have changed, what do we need to know about the districts, whether I believe the federal congressional districts have changed, our county council districts may have changed. We wouldn't have to necessarily look at the map, but these very busy maps to find that new information.
You could go to the state website and you can look up your information. When you go onto the state board website, elections.maryland.gov, and you can look up all of these things, and they have quick links. So you just press on one of those and you can look up your voter information. And then that'll take you to voter lookup. Place your name, your first name, last name, your date of birth, and your zip code. You will come up with this page. So this is all collapsed, but if you scroll down, you will see that first one, my voter registration record. And you see your name, your address, your party affiliation, and your registration date. Then you click to the next one for voting center information. You see your polling place and that address and the election day. Go to the next one for your district, and this is your breakdown. So your precinct number, your congressional district, your legislative district, councilmatic, circuit court, appellate circuit court, election district, and your senatorial district. You can get all that information. All that information is actually also on your voter notification card. Those were mailed out. If your district changed, if the line, it was moved in your area, you'll get a new voter notification card, what everybody calls the voter registration card. And it'll have all that information on it. We will be mailing out the specimen ballots to everyone before the primary. Be on the lookout for that. Do not throw them away. Has a lot of useful information. It will also have where your polling location is and the address. And of course, it has a sample of your ballot. So it's good to keep hold of that. If you have applied for a vote by mail, then you'll just get your ballot. You won't get a sample. Okay. So everybody should be aware of that.
For those who may be voting for the first time, how would you go about registering so that you can get all of this information?
If you are new to the state, new to the county, and you've never voted before, You can contact the local Board of Elections. You can contact us. We are online. You can go to the state board website. You can register online. You can do it in person. Post offices, libraries, they have applications. If you go to the MVA to get your driver's license, you are registered automatically unless you opt out.
Oh, wow.
Same if you are just getting an ID for the state of Maryland, you will be registered to vote automatically. Yeah, so it's a lot that goes on at the MVA. So you may not realize that you registered to vote.
Yeah.
So check your status if you haven't done it already. When people see, it's like a little postcard, it's a trifold thing when you get your voter notification card. People think it's junk mail, so they just toss it and they don't realize that no, you need that. That was information.
Yeah.
So I know that we go into schools or organizations that go to schools, we go out to public events. Look for us. There's always, if it's not us, if it's not League of Women Voters or one of the candidates, sometimes they do registrations.
Mhm.
There's always going to be multiple tables at any kind of summertime event. Churches are very active, as you know, in registering
Yes.
people. Maryland has made it so accessible to register to vote. So you may be registered already and you just need to vote. So check your status. It's not hard to get registered or to check your status. So.
That's fantastic. In terms of this upcoming primary, again, with the date changes, what's the last date to actually register to vote for the primary?
If you are a new voter, you can register same-day registration. So the last deadline for like online or for a paper application is June 28th, which was our original election day.
Okay.
So 5 p.m. for like in-person paper ballots, and it's 11:59 for online registration. Online, you will need your driver's license or mail-in ID number and your social security number.
Okay.
Yes, so make sure you have that. If you are doing a paper application, we can register you if you just have the last four of your social security number, but when it comes to you going in to vote, they will want proof of residency. So you can show your ID or a utility bill or a paycheck stub, a pay stub. This just proof of your residency that you are living in the state of Maryland and you are getting mail at the address that's on the system.
We do make it very accessible, including the same day registration, which is amazing.
Yes, yes. And people have used it. So it's always a good day when somebody registers and they participate.
When it comes to our primaries this year, will we be voting for Board of Election members or any ballot initiatives?
Initiatives or any questions, those are always in the general.
Okay.
Yes. Board of Education, there is nothing on the ballot this time around for that. And our Board of Elections members, they are appointed. So I think you said Board of Elections.
I may have.
It's okay. We get Facebook comments and it's for the Board of Education. And I'm like, no, they go by county public school. So it's understandable. It's okay.
Thank you for the correction.
It's all right.
When it comes to our primary, is there any other information to know, such as party affiliation, voting for any candidate that's on the ballot, or there are separate things that we need to be aware of?
Maryland is a closed primary state. That means that Democrats and Republicans can vote. If you are unaffiliated and you want to participate, there's a candidate that you want to throw your support behind, you need to update your party affiliation. You can go online and you can do that before the deadline, which is June 28th. Okay. So then you will be able to participate in the primary. Okay. It's okay to change your party. If there's a candidate that you like, it's okay. You just need to do it before the deadline. You can't do it the day of. Okay. So you have to vote along your party lines during the primary. General election, you can cross party lines. It doesn't matter. Everybody can participate. Your Dems, your reps, your unaffiliated, your Green Party, your Libertarian, the working class party. Anybody can vote cross party lines during the general election.
Wow, that is very helpful to know. June 28th is a big day.
Yes, it's a very big day.
And I noticed you mentioned about the mail-in ballots. What other methods do we have for voting if we're not able to go on primary day in July?
Well, we do have early voting. So if you know you can't take time on that Tuesday, you have Thursday to Thursday. So you have time Saturdays and Sundays. And they have extended hours. They change the hours. So just like on election day, you have 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. So as long as you are in your polling place or where you're going to vote, before 8 p.m., you will get a chance to cast your ballot. It's just like or it's the same thing during early voting, July 7th to the 14th, 7 to 8. Every day you can go and vote. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have no excuse. If you can't make it during the week because you're working or you're out of town, make plans for that weekend to get it done. Go early.
I think I'd seen something and I want to clarify when it comes to the actual absentee ballots and, mailing them in. Do I have to put it in the mail? If I change my mind, can I bring it to an election site, during early voting or on primary day to vote with my absentee ballot?
This is why a lot of people think people can vote twice. You can't. If you get your ballot, your vote by mail ballot, and you don't cast it and you bring it in, more than likely, if you go during early voting or election day, there will be a bag that you can drop it in. If you say, no, I want to do it in person, then you can rip that ballot up. We won't take it. We don't take possession of it at all. You will have to vote provisionally. Okay. We won't let you go ahead and scan that ballot. There is a report that kind of lets us know, okay, all of these people voted with their vote by mail or they were given their vote by mail ballot mailed out to them and they received it. We didn't get it back yet, but this person showed up at the polling place and they cast a provisional ballot. So that report will show, like, well, did we ever receive that vote by mail? No, we did not. We will go ahead and process the provisional and it'll go through and it'll get scanned during one of our 3 canvasses.
Okay.
Canvassing is when we do our vote by mail ballots. And so the first day, 2 days after the election, we will have the first canvass, that is vote by mail. Then 8 days after the election, we will have our second canvass, and that is all of the provisionals that were done and completed and put in the provisional bag on election day. Then the third one on the 10th day after the election, that is our second vote by mail. And we do hold back some provisionals, so they're done on that day also.
Okay.
And that's open to the public. Anybody can come and witness that. You just sign in. We ask everybody to be respectful when they come in to witness that. But it is open to the public. I think they said that they may do cameras this year, just in case people aren't able to get in.
Yeah.
We're not sure what COVID is going to look like in July. So we want to have a record of it so that anybody can see it.
Well, thank you for that. I didn't realize that those counts were public. Shifting gears a little bit, because the board seems to do a lot in these times. You also have, election judge recruiting as part of your particular role. So what do the election judges do? Like, why do we need them?
They are our residents, our neighbors, sometimes our parents, if you're a certain age and retired. We have a lot of retirees that participate in this. They're just giving back to their communities. They are running the polling places. It isn't the chief judge is not a state or county employee. They are volunteers. They are not making tons of money. So it really is just to give back. They get a stipend, it looks nice in Christmas time. Just a little bit extra, but then you have your provisional judges who are making sure people, for whatever reason, aren't able to cast their ballot in the scanner, that the information is clear and concise, and they understand that if you aren't registered to vote and you fill out that application, it's different. You can't do same-day registration on election day. It's only during early voting, okay? It allows a person a last chance, for whatever reason, whatever the issue may be, to vote, okay? Sometimes they haven't proven that they are registered, or they haven't made the correction timely, or they are in the wrong location.
Okay.
They're just doing, we call those the convenience voter. And they really just care about the big ticket. So it's like, I'm just going to vote for my governor, that kind of thing, or my candidate there. But the lower portions of the ticket, they don't really care about, which is sad, but that's how they think. It's like, oh, I'll just,
Yeah.
do the governor or the president. So that's just a convenience voter. So they're in the wrong location. They will get credit just for that. The lower ticket, that when it's about their district and their location, we don't have your ballot more than likely on election day.
Right.
So that's why you will just get the big contest, because that's the same for everyone. And so it's important that everything is filled out correctly and checked before it goes into that bag, because they only get one chance for that. And they can call back to make sure that, everything was done correctly, and they'll find out if it was counted or if it was not accepted. I mean, usually if it wasn't accepted, it was because something wasn't filled out correctly. And we do count them. We do count provisionals. A lot of people don't think we do. We do. Okay. And then you have your voting operation judges. They're the people that are out in the parking lot, trying to, making sure that everything's in line. They're the line judges. Make sure you're in the right place, especially if you're at a school that has 2 different polling places inside of that one building.
Okay.
You want to make sure you're directed to the correct room. They're your check-in judges, they're ballot judges. Ballot judges are really important during the primary because they make sure that you get the correct ballot. We have a lot of ballots that are going on during the primary.
Right.
So they make sure that they get that. They make sure that when you go to the privacy booth, that it is clean. There's no graffiti on there. They are sanitizing it now. And they're the person that are directing you to the scanning unit. And it's like, just do it this way. If you choose to use the ballot marking device, they are setting that up for you and then, instructing you to go to the scanning unit. And they're the person that gives you that I voted sticker.
That's my favorite
so
part.
You can get your free coffee at Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay.
So it's a lot. It's a lot that goes on. And
Yeah.
they take it so seriously because it really is. It's important that we make it as uncomplicated as possible when a person comes in. There's a lot going on. I am so euphoric on election days. I am annoying. I am giddy with it. So I'm dancing around and I'm just like, happy election day. So and I want everybody to feel that way when they go to vote. I couldn't wait, could not wait till I could register to vote. And I see these young people that come in for the first time and they start like new voter and there's a cheer that goes out. And then you see the proud parents and they want to take a picture. They're just like, no, we don't do it in here. We can't have any electronics. But go to the voting sign outside and share that moment with your kids. My parents are just like, my first time, I was 19. Don't forget to vote today. And then they went off to work. Like, oh. But they were just like, did you go? But now, because I work for the Board of Elections, we sit down and we go over the specimen ballot, and I kind of explain to them, okay, this is what this means. The specimen ballot is not simplified. It really is just the way it is printed on the ballot. Okay. So there's a lot of legal jargon in there, and you really have to break that down. I find the Legal Women Voters, they put out a guide and they simplify it. So I always go online and I look for that and I read that to my parents because they're elderly. And my dad was like, what did we do before we had you working for the Board of Elections? You were uninformed, Daddy. You were uninformed. You can look at these things as a family. And my oldest sister, she's always just like, okay, who are we voting for? I'm just like, really? She said, I know you already did the homework.
Someone had to do the homework.
Yes, yeah. So leave it to the youngest. I just break down the questions during the general election, and there's always like something that the public has to vote on. I always break it down for them. I'm just like, okay, this is what this means. And and then you have like, if you vote for, this is what it means. If you vote against, that's what this means. So that's what we do as a family.
That is nice. That's really helpful.
Yeah.
I will be taking those pointers since I might need to do a bit of that myself to learn it, as well as to help others when they have questions and don't want to do the homework.
Right, right.
In terms of the judges, like you said, there's a lot that is happening. It's a lot of people. So I think I also heard another rumor that we might be a bit short-staffed. So how is recruiting going, and why is that happening?
Recruiting was really good. But then the date changed. And, you have your judges that are just like, oh, okay, it's going to be in June. We can hold off until July. Then the date changed to July in the midst of people's plans. So that's how we ended up losing some of our judges to planned vacations.
Mhm.
Some of them are just like, okay, we're just going to the shore. We can cut that short or we can go a little bit later. It's always a help when we have too many judges, and we need to kind of fill that roster up a little bit, because I think
Yeah.
there was a run on really good deals for vacation spots. So we did lose a few of them. It's not unheard of for us to lose some for, between the primary and the general. But we've been hemorrhaging judges in the past couple of weeks. So
Oh, wow.
yes, and and sometimes it is, because it tends to be older people, our senior
Mhm.
citizens or retirees. It is, I have a procedure, or my spouse has this going on, and they're going to be in the hospital, or they're going to be recuperating, and I can't spend a whole day
Mhm.
away from the house. I think it's because a lot of things were put on hold due to COVID. And last year was not a state election or a federal election. It
Mhm.
was like the little municipal elections going around the state. So a lot of things that were put on hold are now on the schedule for
Yeah.
this year. So I think that was a big part of it. So, and I always say this, if your parents used to be election judges and they can't do it anymore, I'm asking my Gen Xers to step up. If you are going off to college, but you have time this summer, become an election judge. You can get a little bit of money. Um, Ask for some early voting days, because that 100 plus that you get on election day, you'll get that every day that you work during the early voting.
It's a pretty
You
good
can make a
pitch.
little bit of money. You can make a little bit of money. Might pay for one college book.
A little bit of extra.
Mhm.
So, and it's good to hear that there might be a range, so that if we're hoping to maybe convince some folks, or people may know someone, that it's not just older adults, that
No, no.
any adult can be an election judge
Mhm.
in the state of Maryland who is a registered voter in the state of Maryland.
You are a 16-year-old and your parents are going to do it, you can go with your parents. We can get you into the same polling location. So yeah, we've had that. Back in 2020, we had parents that were just like, my kid's gonna be, out of school or not on the computer doing school. So can we work together? Yes, yes, you can.
Wow. I think that is all of my questions.
Okay.
Was there anything else, as kind of our representative from the local board of elections, that you would want Anne Arundel County based members to know about the upcoming election, the process, or anything else?
We are nonpartisan here. We are all about fair and accessible elections. Any of the local boards will tell you that. That is our job, to have successful elections. We are not intimidated when we have a high turnout. We love a high turnout. That means that we are getting the word out, that people are really taking their state and their local elections seriously. I don't believe in this, oh, it's a midterm, it doesn't really count that much. No, it does. Every election counts, from the municipal to the federal. You don't have a voice if you don't participate. If you are looking for a cause, make this your cause. Go out there, be a voter registration volunteer, register people to vote, volunteer to be an election judge. Ask, can you help when the returns are coming back? So we do the supply pickups, and people have to unpack that from the judges' cars. So contact us, see where you can help. We're always hiring additional people. We've done our build up, but we still need some people. So if you find that, you need have time on your hands for whatever reason, and you want to do a little something for your county, contact us, and we'll see what we can set you up with. We are utilizing you can register to vote on your phone, your smartphone. And I was supposed to tell you this. So you text vote to 77788, and you will go to the state board website on your smartphone, and you can register on your smartphone. Do something, participate. learn what's really important to you, find that candidate's platform and it doesn't matter if they are Democrat, Republican, another party that's recognized by the state of Maryland, give them your support. You can only see problems if you're not being part of the solution.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're always going to look at the negative, like, oh, they're doing this wrong, they're doing that wrong. Did you participate? You got to be part of the solution. So I hope everyone who sees this says, okay, yeah, I can do that. It's not that hard. Like, I can do it on my smartphone between TikToks. You can. It's that easy.
That is great. Thank you so much. So I think this has been really great information. That even the points you made about fair and accessible elections being part of the solution, and again, all of the detail around the election and what goes into it, really appreciate a better understanding of how we make elections run smoothly, what the board does, as well as the importance of the process itself.
Thank you for having me. And you know what? We have been known to give tours of the Board of Elections. We're really proud of our facility here. So, call us up, ask for Nicole, and schedule your tour. I've shown it to, prospective election judges. I've shown it to Girl Scout troops. Contact us. We would love to bring you into the building and see what we do here. So.
That is awesome.
Michelle, I've loved talking to you.
Well, thank you very much. And honestly, for jumping around a little bit on our list, as well as giving so much detail on everything. This has been very enjoyable. And a part of me goes, I might need to make an appointment to come on a tour.
Come on.
Because I'm an elections nerd too.
It's okay. It's not a bad thing.
And thanks to everyone for watching. Everything I mentioned can be found in the archive or on the church website. Have a good week, and the live stream service starts right now.